Ladies and gentlemen, imagine your brain as a garden. The seeds are your memories, the flowers are your skills and wisdom, and the soil is your overall brain health. Every meal you eat is like rain to that garden. Some meals nourish the soil, making your mind vibrant. Others, without you even noticing, pour toxins into it, slowly drying it out. Today I'll share two things. First, the top 6 foods Dr. William Lee warns can contribute to dementia risk. Second, the 3 powerful brain-boosting alternatives that can help your mind stay sharp and strong. Let us begin with something simple yet profound. The food we choose each day is not only a reflection of our taste, but a silent architect of our future mind. Many of us understand the connection between diet and our waistline, our heart, or our blood sugar. But fewer realize that each bite also speaks to our brain, whispering either words of nourishment or words of decay. The first truth we must embrace is that certain everyday foods, often those we have grown accustomed to over decades, can quietly hasten the aging of the brain. These are not strange exotic poisons. They are familiar, sitting in our cupboards and on our dining tables. When eaten occasionally, the body may endure them without immediate harm. But when they become the staple, they begin to etch away at the mind's resilience. The damage does not happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, like water seeping into stone, wearing it down one drop at a time. There is an old saying, "What is not seen is often the most dangerous." Dementia rarely knocks loudly at the door. It arrives softly, sometimes years before the first signs appear. You may forget where you placed your keys, a name may escape you, or a conversation from yesterday may feel like it happened long ago. At first, these are dismissed as natural signs of aging. But often, they are the first whispers of a mind being dulled by years of hidden assaults. Many of these assaults come not from stress, not from age itself, but from what is placed daily on our plates. One of the strongest enemies of a sharp mind is chronic inflammation. When we consume certain foods, high in refined sugar, loaded with unhealthy fats, and stripped of natural nutrients, they ignite a slow, burning fire within the body. This fire is not felt as heat or pain, but it quietly damages the blood vessels that feed the brain. Over years, the brain becomes like a grand city with crumbling roads. Communication slows, connections weaken, and memory begins to fade. Imagine a garden once full of bright flowers and strong trees. Now imagine a steady drip of polluted water flowing into its soil every day. At first, the garden still blooms, the trees still stand tall. But season after season, the pollution works its way into the roots. The leaves lose their shine, the flowers their fragrance, and the trees their strength. This is what happens to the brain when harmful foods dominate our diet. And yet, this is not a tale of doom. The beauty of our body and mind is that they are remarkably adaptable. The brain is not a fixed stone. It is more like clay. Even in later years, it can be shaped, strengthened, and renewed. Science now tells us that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, is alive and well in our senior years. But like clay, the brain requires the right conditions to be molded into its best form. These conditions are built through the nourishment we provide it every day. The second truth, and perhaps the more hopeful one, is that memory decline is not an unavoidable destiny. We live in a time where many have accepted forgetfulness, confusion, and loss of focus as inevitable companions of aging. But the evidence tells another story. Around the world, there are communities where elders live into their 80s and 90s with minds as sharp as in their youth. They do not hold on to memory by luck or genetics alone. They hold on to it through lifestyles that feed the brain rather than starve it. I recall a conversation with an elderly gentleman from a small coastal village. He was well into his 80s, yet he could recount with vivid detail events from 50 years ago. The names of friends, the exact smell of the sea on a stormy morning, the way his wife laughed when they first met. When I asked him his secret, he smiled and pointed to the small garden by his home. "Everything I eat," he said, "comes from here or the sea. No boxes, no powders, no bags." He did not speak in scientific terms, but his way of life had given him what many modern diets steal away: the clarity of a well-fed mind. Diet plays a greater role than most of us imagine. Just as poor nutrition can carve deep cracks into our mental strength, the right foods can build protective walls around our memory. Every meal can be a choice between building and breaking. Think of it as choosing bricks or choosing termites for your house. Over time, the structure you create will reflect the choices you've made. There is a story of a young apprentice who once complained to his master about his poor memory. The master gave him a bamboo basket and told him to fetch water from the river. The apprentice tried, but by the time he returned, the water had leaked out completely. He complained that the task was pointless. The master smiled and told him to repeat it again and again. After several trips, the apprentice noticed something. The basket, once dirty and stained, had become clean. The master explained, "The water could not stay, but it cleans the basket each time." So too with your mind. What you put into it may not always remain, but it changes its state. Feed it clean, nourishing things, and it will remain pure and strong. The same principle applies to food. You may not notice the difference after a single healthy meal, just as one harmful meal will not erase your memory in a day. But over time, the quality of what you feed your body and brain transforms the very structure of your mind. A steady diet of nutrient-rich foods repairs blood vessels, reduces inflammation, and strengthens the connections between brain cells. In the same way, a steady intake of harmful foods weakens these connections, making them brittle and prone to breaking. If there is one lesson here, it is that we are not powerless. Even in later years, every choice we make in the kitchen and at the dining table has the power to shape our mental future. The brain, like a wise old tree, may have weathered many storms, but it still responds to sunlight, clean air, and nourishing soil. Remove the toxins, give it the right fuel, and it will reward you with seasons of clarity and wisdom. When we understand that what we eat today shapes how we think tomorrow, our meals stop being just a habit. They become a form of self-care, an act of preserving the stories we hold dear, the faces we love, and the joy of living fully in the moment. After all, the true measure of aging is not how many years we have lived, but how much of ourselves we can still bring into each day with focus, memory, and presence. Replacing harmful foods with brain-nourishing alternatives is not just about taking something away. It is about giving the body and mind what they truly crave. The kind of fuel that strengthens rather than drains. When most people hear the word replacement, they think of sacrifice, of losing the things they enjoy. But the truth is, the most powerful replacements are not about loss at all. They are about discovery. Discovery of flavors, of energy, of clarity, of life returning to the mind like spring returning to a frozen field. There is a simple principle in nature. If a river becomes polluted, you do not merely try to block the dirty water. You bring in a new source of clean water and let it flow until it washes the old away. In the same way, it is not enough to merely stop eating what harms the brain. We must allow nourishing foods to flow in with such consistency that they become the new normal. Over time, these choices clear the mind, renew the body, and restore what was lost. The journey of replacement begins with awareness. Many people eat on autopilot, unaware of the slow erosion taking place within them. If you replace without understanding, the change will never last. But when you know why a certain food harms you and how another can heal you, the choice becomes easier, even joyful. This is why elders in certain traditions treat every meal like a small ceremony. They eat with intention, not rushing, not distracted, understanding that food is not just for the stomach. It is for the mind, the blood, the very spirit. A friend once told me about his grandmother, a woman in her late 70s who used to begin each morning with white bread, butter, and sweet tea. Over the years, her memory began to falter, her energy fading by midday. Then one day, a doctor explained the effects of refined sugar and the benefits of berries and nuts. She began replacing the bread with oatmeal topped with blueberries, almonds, and a drizzle of honey. Within months, she noticed she could recall conversations more clearly, stay alert longer, and even sleep better at night. The improvement did not come from one meal. It came from the quiet, repeated choice to feed her brain, rather than dull it. The mind is a living thing, and like all living things, it thrives in the right environment. Leafy greens, rich in nutrients, sweep through the body like a gentle wind clearing old dust. Omega-3s from fish strengthen the very membranes of brain cells, making them flexible and quick to communicate. Berries, with their deep colors, deliver compounds that protect neurons from damage, like a shield defending a treasured city. These foods do not just feed the body, they build the architecture of thought, memory, and awareness. In the same way, harmful foods are replaced not only by healthier ones, but also by better habits around food. Eating slowly allows the brain to register fullness, preventing overeating. Cooking at home with fresh ingredients turns each meal into an act of creation, rather than consumption. Sharing food with loved ones strengthens emotional bonds, which in turn protect mental health. And yet, even with the best intentions, some people struggle to maintain such changes. This is where the fourth truth reveals its power. Small, consistent dietary shifts are more effective than sudden drastic changes. The human mind resists anything that feels like deprivation. If someone is told to stop all their favorite foods at once, they may complain for a week, a month, maybe 2. But eventually, old habits return with greater force. The path to lasting transformation lies in gentle persistence. Just as a mountain is shaped not by one great storm, but by countless drops of rain over centuries, our health is shaped by repeated small choices. Replace one harmful food this month. Add one nourishing food next month. Over time, the change becomes so natural that it feels effortless. There is a story of a man who wished to climb a tall mountain, but became discouraged by the distance. His guide told him, "Do not look at the peak, look only at the next 3 steps. Take them, and then take 3 more. One day, without realizing it, you will stand at the top." The same is true for dietary change. Look not at the whole list of what must be avoided or added. Look only at the next small choice before you. For example, instead of removing all fried foods immediately, begin by replacing just one fried meal a week with a grilled or steamed option. Instead of cutting out all sugar at once, replace one sugary drink with water or herbal tea each day. Each small step is a seed, and when seeds are planted regularly, they grow into a forest that no storm can destroy. Consistency also builds trust with the body. When the body receives a steady supply of the nutrients it needs, it no longer sends desperate cravings for quick energy from sugar or processed foods. The mind grows calm, focus improves, and the fog that once clouded thought begins to lift. This is why elders who follow long-standing food traditions often have such stable health. Their bodies know what to expect and have been nourished in the same way for decades. The magic lies in rhythm. The sun rises and sets each day without hurry. The tides flow in and out without force. In the same way, your brain health grows stronger when your choices follow a steady rhythm of nourishment. This rhythm creates momentum, and momentum becomes habit, and habit becomes identity. When healthy eating becomes who you are, not just what you do, the struggle disappears. There is a quiet joy in knowing that you are not at the mercy of age. That you can, with simple and consistent choices, protect the clarity of your mind and the richness of your memories. You can wake each morning with the sharpness to recall the past and the presence to fully live in the moment. And all of this begins not with a grand leap, but with the smallest of steps, repeated until they become your way of life. Small shifts, done with intention, are like a steady breeze that shapes the landscape over time. They require patience, but they also bring peace. Because you know you are walking a path that is sustainable, a path that honors both the wisdom of your years and the strength that still resides within you. Our brain is the command center of every joy, every conversation, every memory. Protecting it is not about avoiding pleasure. It's about choosing foods that give us the gift of more tomorrows with clarity, laughter, and connection. Every bite is a choice, and every choice is a step toward a sharper, more vibrant you.